Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Academia #Raw. Remember to subscribe, press that subscription button, share all our lessons, like, and also comment on all our lessons. For today, we are going to look at factoring expressions, or what we call factorizing of expressions. So first of all, if we talk about factorizing of expressions, it is the opposite of multiplying. um, so, for example, if you have a look at this, you realize that if you have an expression like this, if you multiply a into this bracket, you'll end up having the answer will be a times b, which gives ab, and then a times c, which gives ac. So if since this AB here has an A and also AC has an A, so if now we remove the common factor, which is A, from both sides, then that process is what we call factoring out. Like here you can see that A is taken outside, and then in two brackets will remain with B plus C. So these brackets at some point we shall be calling them the parentheses. So when we apply the distributive law to an expression, of course, we remove the parentheses or the brackets such that we end up having this one. And then when we factor the expression, we write it in the parentheses to indicate the factors. So A here is a factor of B and C. And when we remove this, when we remove the bracket using the distributive law, we end up getting AB plus AC. So basically, for any expression, it can be factored by dividing each term by what we call the greatest common factor. So always use the greatest common factor, and we write the greatest common factor outside of a set of parentheses, or what we call a set of brackets. So the greatest common factor is taken outside the brackets, and then the remaining values are the ones that we leave inside the bracket. So let's look at an example. We have an expression which is 5x plus 10. So the terms 5x and 10 have a greatest common factor, which is 5. So meaning that we shall have to take the 5 outside of the parenthesis, and then what remains is what we shall write inside the parenthesis, or what we call the brackets. So you can see now, since 5 is common, on 5x and 10, so we write it outside as 5, and then inside the brackets, we shall divide 5x by 5. What remains, we shall put it inside, and also divide 10 by 5. What remains is what we shall put inside the bracket. So if we divide this by 5, we end up having x plus 2. And this basically implies that we shall write our answer here as 5 into x plus 2. So this is our answer. So if you look at some of the other expressions where we have to factor out some numbers, 8a plus 2. So you realize that here, the common factor, which is the greatest, is 2. So you can factor out 2 from the 2 and 2 from the 8a. And this end up giving us uh, the answer as 2 into 4a plus 1, because if you divide this by 2, you get 4a plus 1, which goes inside the bracket, and then the 2, which is the greatest common factor, comes here outside the bracket. And then if you factor this 7n squared minus 21, you realize that the greatest common factor, there is a 7, because 21 can be divided by 7, and with 7n squared can be divided by 7. Then also, since this has an n and this has an n squared, n is also a common factor. So the greatest common factor is 7n squared. So 7n, sorry. So that's why when we are factorizing, we divide by 7n, since it is the greatest common factor. So 7n squared divided by 7n, we get the answer as n. And then 21n divided by 7n, we get a 3. So that's why we get n minus 3. So when we are factoring, we shall end up having, we first start by writing the 7n, and then write the n minus 3 in the bracket, or what we call the parentheses. So remember to share, to like, and also comment on our videos such that you have the best learning experience with us. You can also remember to subscribe to our channel such that you get notifications for all our new lessons. Thank you for enjoying all our lessons, and have the best